the strategy director for Parti Amanah Negara, and I really wish him all the best with Parti Amanah, and I hope you get more people from PAS coming to join you. He has a lot of publications, but I like one of his publications because I find his question very rhetorical. Najibnomics, adakah itu rahmat atau malapetaka? We all know the answer by now. Okay, Dr. Dzulkefly, can we listen to you?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Professor James Piscatori, Dr. Norani, and Dr. Martinez. Right, I begin with Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera kepada semua. I don't know why I get to be called in this kind of forum, particularly on the brink of the mother of all election, and whatever that I'm going to, about to be narrating here would be, if ever it would be a liability for me and for my party, because there's the way the media will play it out. But I took huge risk here.
We thank you for your courage.
I want to hear that. No, I was no qualms about it. I will always speak without a fear of favor, and because I do not double speak, and I don't have to be worried about being consistent. And Professor Piscatori, this is not the first time I'm engaged with you on, and every time it's always very enlightening. And for this particular topic, may I just begin by saying, having heard the other interveners who spoke earlier on, I would begin by saying that Islamizing the state, religious politics in Malaysia, somehow I would want to believe that where you are driving home this message, I tend to, I'll speak, in all honesty, yeah? I somehow feel that you might have missed a very important thing of a recent resurgence in Islamic activism. I don't quite like political Islam now. I no longer call myself an Islamist, as you might have noticed. And I'm very much a Muslim Democrat in the line of Rashid Ghanouchi happened to be a guru that I was able to be under his tutelage once when I was doing my PhD in London, and he took a political asylum in London for a good many years. Because I know that going down this way, immediately you will be at war on a collision course with the majority of Muslims that have come to understand Islam and reduces it to just what I call legal reductionism. And this conflation of religion, politics, ethnic, it's surely very difficult in Malaysia. It's very acrimonious, very complex, and I don't pretend that Parti Amanah Negara is going to take it. It will take a long time before we could really disentangle, and going by that, we could easily be demonized by our former party, and as well know that Parti Amanah Negara is in the rank of the liberals here now. I must say that, and I wrote, the latest writing of mine is in The Edge 2 weeks ago, repudiating racism and bigotry, religious bigotry. And some may have read that. And no qualms to make it very clear that what Amanah stands for. And if I may be allowed to read this, another writing that I wrote some time back, Politics of Change for Change in Politics in Malaysia. In the preamble, I wrote, the emergence of the Parti Amanah Negara on the national political landscape on the heels of two critical challenges promptly demands that the new political party, the new party, to immediately address and provide viable solution to these two crises. One is of the failure of an Islamic platform to transform itself, to undertake critical reforms in the running of the state administration of the country, as to reflect and embody the overriding objective of Islam as a mercy unto all, rahmatan lil alamin. And secondly, the unending failures of the corrupt leadership, what in political science is now known as the toxic leadership, which consequently thank you. Yeah. Secondly, the unending failures of the corrupt leadership of the country, which consequently is causing untold misery to the people as reflected in the virulent rising cost of living and whatnot. Now, I come from, well, I find it so difficult to put it simple, but what I thought was missing in this presentation was to put it in perspective of the conviction of a new generation of political Islam, or what I call a new I don't even like to call it political Islam, a new generation of, or what is now known as the second generation Islamist political party that believe that the objective of Sharia is enshrined and embodied, yeah, in what is now known as the Maqasid al-Sharia. Somehow I did not get that in your presentation. And because of that, I find it something that is amiss, and I find it missing. And if you have put that in context, perhaps we can, we can put it in perspective as to why, despite Islamizing the state all the more, you are actually getting the opposite of what Islam stands for.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'm about to. Don't worry. Index Sharia Malaysia, launched in 2015. Patricia, you must have missed that one. Did you miss that one? No. You guys say Index Sharia Malaysia, berapa yang whoever among you have heard about it? Yeah, Sharia Index, yeah, in English, it's Sharia Index. Any hands? Okay. This was launched by Najib in this meeting of the Ulama Umara in 2014. And 2015, 133 researchers, some of them known as experts, subject matter experts, came to conclude and render unto Malaysia a score of 75.42% of being compliant to Sharia. A big applause to Najib and Putrajaya's administration. In 8 domains, essentially perundangan Islam, the Islamic law, politics, economy, education, health, social, environment, alam sekitar, dan prasarana. Now, I wrote in my latest article about how between rhetorics and reality, the Malay Muslim majority of this country has been, deluded, if I may use the word, to believe that this is the way to go. That, and all the more, if I forgive me for my political slur, all the more because this Islamic political party has now joined hand in glove with the government of the day, or the party of the day. Therefore, mind you all, that that this Islamizing the state will gain momentum, because this is the only way, the surest way to ensure that ketuanan Melayu Islam akan dapat dijamin. That almost the surest way that, in a siege mentality that has been mentioned earlier, this country is really going down the slippery slope of a self-destruction, because that is how they have conceived and construct Islam and what it all stands for, because the most overriding, the most important of all things is hukum, and that by that they say it's Sharia, but by that they mean the punitive aspect of Islam, and with, if I may say, with RUU 355, it embraces it all, and it is the be-all and end-all. Where we are coming from is to oppose this Islamization of the state, or Islamizing the state, and through bureaucratization, and of course Jakim is the epitome of it all. So, in those very difficult words that I've tried to construct, I thought I would end it that way, because we are, if I could just conclude, we are in a situation whereby the efforts of the second generation Islamists, don't like that word again, political parties that stand for Islam, is at loggerhead with authority, with the bureaucracy, and now with an Islamist political party that stand for the implementation of Sharia, while what is to be fought is actually the true higher objective of Sharia, and that is the maqasid of Sharia, which, if I may just simply, put it to all, and I apologize for not introducing this topic in its proper, because I presuppose that many of you have come to understand this word of maqasid Sharia, which essentially stands for the higher objectives, the higher intents, the higher rationale of Sharia. And the very objective of Sharia is essentially to promote the total well-being of man and humanity, and embrace in those 5 imperatives of ad-daruratul khamsa, that of maintaining and safeguarding faith, nafs, the being, the intellect, posterity or lineage, wealth, honor and dignity. And in the writings of Ibn Ashur, Hifz al-Hurriya, the preservation of freedom, and Hifz al-Adala, the preservation of justice. Now, to us, this is the only way forward for Malaysia is to embrace maqasid in the public policies of the state. That is siyasah syariah. And I think I've made it very clear that we have long debunked the idea of Islamic State. I don't have to keep, keep repeating this, because even when I was in PAS, we have proposed this benevolent state, negara berkebajikan. But if I may conclude by just saying this, moderator, if you allow me, that second generation Muslim Democrats believe in the effort to achieve what's in Arabic called linas'a iqamatu dini, linas'a iqamatu dawlah madaniyah tar'a masalihul mawatin la iqamatu diniyah tahma masalihul muslimin. We strive to achieve a civil state in order to serve the interests of all citizens, rather than a religious state to serve the interests of only the Muslim. I thank you.